Hello, good morning or good afternoon, depend on the time that you have choose to study. Okay, let's start our journey, the new module with certification of organic production and geographical indication. I am Giovanni Redulia, an associated professor that work at Agricultural University of Tirana. And so, let's start with the first lecture, certification on organic production. In this part, we will speak about the basic concepts firstly, which are these: the basic concepts about standards, regulation on organic, certification, certificate, inspection, certification body, accreditation, and so on. In fact, these basic concepts and definitions will help you in the other part or in the second part of this module, which deal with geographical indications. And now a list of the issues that we will discuss in this lecture: standards and certification, importance of certification. So why the certification is important for consumers and for the producers or sellers too. Challenges for producers and organic market, and reasons for conversion or going out of organic systems, especially focused on the farmers' issues. Standards and certification. Voila. Okay, let's speak in general, the concept of standard, and slow step by step, let's go to the organic standard. A standard is something considered by an authority or by general consent as the basis of comparison. It is an approved model. From another dictionary, I choose: a standard is something that you use in order to judge the quality of something else. So we're going near. And the organic standards describe the specific requirements that must be verified by accredited certifying agents or certification bodies before products can be labeled as organic and before we can sell them. Organic is a labeling term that indicates that the food or other agricultural products has been produced through special approved methods. In this case, speaking about organic standards. Many times we face the problem to understand or to distinguish the difference between a standard and a technical regulation. So the difference between a standard and a technical regulation lies in the compliance. While conformity with standards is voluntarily, technical regulations are mandatory. However, many times the difference between them is difficult. I'm trying here to give some examples in order to be it more clear. Voluntary standards, so entirely voluntary standards, is a group. For them, there is not any law obligation. For example, standards, different standards of ISO, for example, ISO 22000 or certification for OGMO. Then we have voluntary standards regulated by law, with regulations. For example, in this case, we have organic regulation. What I wanted to mean with this: organic regulation is not obligatory in the sense or mandatory in the sense that all the farmers are obliged to produce according to organic. It's not true. The farmers can choose to do organic agriculture in their farm or do conventional or traditional farming. In the case they want to label their products as organic and to sell as organic, so they are obliged, firstly, as a basic, to respect the regulation that is in the country. In our case, in uh, European Union, the farmers are obliged to respect the standards regulated by regulation 834 of 2007 and 1899 of 2008. From the other side, we have regulation, which are obligatory standards that are ruled by regulation, are mandatory, such as food safety, for example. Now that we spoke about standards, their relation with rules, with regulations, now let's speak about certification. The quality certification is a statement or a document issued by a competent institution for an organization or a company or a farm that meets a set of norms for a product or service or the process of creating these products. Organic certification verifies that farms, their working facilities, and processing companies comply with organic regulations and enables producers to sell, label, and market their products as organic. Organic certification system is a quality assurance initiative intended to assure quality, but not only this, to prevent fraud and promote commerce based on a set of standards and ethics. In general, any business directly involved in food production can be certified, include seedling suppliers, farmers, fish breeding, wild harvesting, but not hunting, products, food processors, retailers, and restaurants, as well as animal feed. Restaurants cannot be certified according to EU regulation, but does exist voluntary standards. In EU countries, according to Regulation 834 of 2007, agriculture products, processed agri-food products, feed and pet food, aquaculture products, alga and microalga, for example spirulina, yeast, can be certified organic when respect organic regulation and it is verified as such. Organic certification is a certification process for producers of organic food and other organic agriculture products. Less known is the certification of organic textiles or organic clothes, which includes the certification of textile products made from organically grown fibers according to Global Organic Textile Standard (GOTS), as well as cosmetics. These last are not regulated by or are not ruled by regulation. These are voluntary standards. Speaking till about certification. The certification body or organization issues an evaluation-based certificate verifying that the system, product, process, or management staff meets the specified certification requirements or standards. The certification is valid for a specified period of time, after which a re-certification can be performed. Maintenance of certification may be related to the evaluation procedures that need to be performed, for example, annually while the certification is valid. The certification bodies covered by the accreditation offer their clients management system certification, product certification, and personnel certification. This is speaking in general. In this part, I'm not speaking about organic. I wanted to give you some idea. And if you see here, it is interesting when I mention that the certification can cover different activities. And the important here is, for example, management system, product certification, and personal certification. I'm speaking in general here because there is a difference, for example, between uh, management system or production management system and certification of products. They can be linked with each other but are not the same thing. For example, in organic production, we tend to have, through others, a good food, a clean food, but it is not certified the final product. For example, we go only do analysis and we say, okay, this is organic. In fact, the organic production and the certification of organic production is management system certification. So we certify the process of production. So we start to follow from the soil to the fork. And this is a system certification. However, we do, as we explain in the other parts, we can do analysis in order to ensure the health of the. In these times, the certification of a product is become a must. It is a necessity. But many times ago, the producers were selling locally, so the distance between producer and consumers was very short. There was a mutual trust between them. Nowadays, the production is traveling a lot in big distances, and the producer and consumers doesn't know or don't know each other, so distance between producer and consumers is incredibly increased, and in this case we have a decrease of credibility between them. Another reason that in nowadays makes necessary important certification is food scandals. Has happened many food scandals in the world that have badly contributed to the corrosion of credibility between consumers and producers. Increase of consumers' requirements is another reason. In nowadays, there is huge number of consumers that are concerned about environmental and land issues such as workers' conditions, salaries, and so on. And from the other side, consumers miss their professional capacities to assess if this product fits this X standards. From the other side, consumers miss time to follow and judge the performance of the company's farmers and their staff. Let's come now to definition of certification body. Certification body is an organization that certifies the compliance of management systems or products with specific reference standards like management systems, products, and staff. The certification body is accredited by a designating authority in accordance with this arrangement to conduct certification to the other parties or to third parties to certify a product or quality management system. Speaking about certification of management systems, certification body verifies that the organizations operate in accordance with the requirements of management standards in relation to specific aspects such as, for example, I'm listing some standards here, quality management of the production system like ISO 9001, environmental management ISO 14001, worker safety and health management, another standard, ethics, and so on. Product certification. The certification body verifies that the products placed on the market comply with specific standards issued for each individual product. In fact, organic certification is not a product certification. Organic, in fact, is management system certification. Staff certification. Certification body verifies that the staff, in this case, natural persons, has the characteristics of education, experience, and training suitable to perform certain tasks. Among the tasks among which certification is most widespread, there are those, for example, of auditors, professional valuer, consultant, expert in business management, employees in electoral systems, and so on. So there are different certification of staff. Let's speak in this part for the relation between certification and accreditation. And here I'm focused on certification bodies which are accredited to certify according to specific regulation of United States or EU countries to certify farmers, producers, processors, sellers as organic. The certification body itself, in this case, must be firstly accredited in the United States, has to be or has to have accreditation by USDA, and in EU countries by each member country of EU, because each member country of EU has its respective accreditation authority. Organic accreditation authorize private, foreign, or state organizations to certify farms, processing, distribution, and marketing facilities. Certifying agents are accredited by an accreditation authority or body and are responsible for ensuring that organic products met all organic standards. The particular feature of the EU countries is that the certification body, after being accredited, must apply to carry out inspection and certification activity in each of the countries. Every certification body in this case is included in the list of certification bodies of each country. Each certification body is given a code which is placed on the label. Also, every certified business has its own code which is given by the certification body. Dealing with certification and certification basics is important to speak about conformity, because when we work organic in this case, or when we, for example, have a farm and want to certify it, we have to understand that our farm has to be conform to the standards and to the regulations. However, in practice, there are two terms that are used, conformity and compliance. Both of them are used, but the conformity is the case, more to speak, when we speak about voluntarily standards, and the compliance is related to the requirements of the regulations, of the rules, of the laws. So, conformity is compliance with standards, rules, or laws. Conformity is action or behavior in correspondence or respecting all accepted standards, conventions, rules, or laws. In the world of standards, the term conformity is used more than the compliance. This is to distinguish between requirements set by governments that are legal or regulatory requirements that are to be complied with, and voluntary elements set out in standards that are to be conformed with. So this is the difference. However, in the real life, we use one for the other. We use comply and we use conform. Speaking still about certification and conformity, and speaking about conformity and comply, I wanted to clarify here that failure to comply with the law can result in penalties, while failure to conform with a standard means that certification may not be granted, or if it has been granted, may be suspended or withdrawn. Conformity, as I said before, is voluntarily act while compliance is imposed. Certification of conformity is the formal demonstration that the product properly identified meets the requirements of specific technical regulations or standards. To speak about conformity, I can say that in quality management, non-conformity is a deviation from a specification, a standard, or deviation from an expectation. And non-conformity to organic standards, for example, and the regulations means a deviation from them. When a farmer, producer, seller do not or does not respect the standards or deviates from standards cannot be certified as organic. And now we arrived to explain the term inspection. However, before speaking about inspection, what does it mean according to different dictionaries and in practical point of view, what does it mean? I want to summarize here the main concepts that we spoke about in this part. We spoke about standards, regulation, the relation between a standard and a regulation, spoke about certificate and certification, certification bodies. What is a certification body? What is a third-party certification in this case? What is conformity and non-conformity, and which is the difference between conformity and compliance? And spoke about accreditation. We spoke that in order that a third party, an inspection body, can have the right and can certificate a product, a company, it has to be accredited. And now let's speak about inspection. According to different dictionaries, inspection is the act of looking at something carefully or an official visit to a building or organization to check that everything is correct and legal. It is the act of looking at something carefully in order to discover information. It is a careful examination by an official to make certain or to be sure that something is in good condition or that rules are being respected. It is the act of looking at something carefully to check its quality or condition. And we are more here when we speak about inspection of organic management system in order then to have the certification. Inspection is a careful examination by an official or a specialized organization, in this case, for example, certification bodies, to make certain that the rules are being respected or that standards are being respected. Inspection or verification is an examination of a product or service, or an examination of the process of manufacturing a product or service. It can be hardware, processed material, software, service, to assess whether it complies with predefined requirements or standards or regulation. In this case, we can say the same for organic production. It can be certified after inspection, and the inspection for an organic, for example, farm, verifies and assess whether the farm complies with predefined requirements of organic production. So this is the end of this part. We will continue to speak about certification in other parts of this lecture. Till the next time, have a good time, have a good study. See you soon in the next part.